All right, hello friends. It looks like we've finally got the thing working. That was an adventure. To bring folks up to date, I basically just had to learn to use OBS on the fly because when I scheduled this stream, YouTube insists that you tell it, are you going to use streaming software? Are you going to use a webcam? Are you going to use whatever? And apparently the default when I scheduled it was streaming software, which I wasn't planning on using. So okay. Couple deep breaths. I also apologize for the autofocus brackets still being here hanging out around my face. I'm streaming using my nice camera and I haven't figured out how to completely turn those off. So I just figured I'd put those in a static position so they're minimally distracting. Anyways, okay, let me just pull up a couple things on here. Okay, in the meantime, can I have everybody, when you hear this, type roar in the chat, as in roaring dragon, so I know what kind of delay I'm working with. Okay, perfect. So it looks like we're looking at about a minute or so. Okay, we will wait for people to continue rolling in. It looks like we've got about 60 folks. And it is wonderful to see everybody. Okay, the roaring continues. This is so cute. I would also like to say thank you to, once again, we have the wonderful Faye Sterling doing chat mod duty for us. So that is wonderful of her. She is going to make sure that any trolls that were not already frightened off by, the presence of a are staying well away and not bothering us. How is everyone doing? Good morning or afternoon or evening or whatever time of day it is. I figure that's got like the West Coast where I am, and then the East Coast of the US, and then Europe covered, and I figure most of Asia and Oceania is asleep right now, so I guess I'm happy whatever time it is for you when you wake up and watch this. It is still morning for me, and I am not a morning person, so I'm still finishing my coffee. Because mornings are not my friends. Tell me what it is that you are drinking right now. If you're drinking something, do you have tea? Do you have coffee? Do you have something else? I see we've got some folks who are joining for the first time. Hello, especially to you folks. Okay, good. I'm not the only one who's still drinking their coffee. Good. I feel so much better. What kind of coffee? I like light roast with extra cream and nothing sweet. Let's see, I'm seeing water and espresso, tea and water, water with lime, tea, coffee, even though it's 8 p.m., iced tea, iced coffee. Yes, it's going to be too hot here for hot tea today. I'm very disappointed. This is going to make me sad. Because normally the only time I drink iced tea, it's like if I've made chai concentrate or something way in advance. And I haven't done that today, so no iced tea for me. All right, so we might as well get into the important announcement part of this stream, which is what you all are here today. I figure I've kept you waiting long enough. So the first of the important announcements we'll do a little drum roll of anticipation, although we're going to do the small one first, and then we'll do the big run. Drum roll of anticipation is I am getting a P.O. box. I was hoping to have it all the way set up by the time I did this stream, but then this week happened, so it is not fully set up yet. I don't have a number or anything for it, but I have it reserved, and I have all the forms and everything that I need to fill out to get it fully set up. So I shall soon be having a P.O. box. Also, thank you, Angie, very much for sending the super chat. It is much appreciated. That is very sweet of you. Somebody's drinking cranberry ginger ale? Where do I get this? Okay, but yes, I am working on setting up that P.O. box, and when I have it set up, you'll see it start appearing in the descriptions of my present and most of my past videos. I will try to make a community post with the info as well. I'll throw it up on the Instagram. You'll be able to find it everywhere. So yes, you will be able to send me things. I am going to ask that folks don't send me anything bigger than like a letter or a card without checking in with me first. Like if you need to contact me, you can always contact me by DM over on Instagram, because just like I don't need more stuff. I'm already running out of storage space in this gigantic studio that I have, because, you know, fabric and craft supplies and shooting equipment and lighting equipment. So please don't send me packages or objects or anything without checking in with me first. That's not to say that if you check in with me first, I will say no all the time. But that's also not to say that if you check in with me first, I will actually be able to accept whatever it is you want to send me, very sweet as it is that you might want to send me something. Letters and cards, though, I don't really see myself running out of space for. The other thing is this is like a little teeny P.O. box that's like it can hold 10 or 15 letters. So I don't want to make the post office folks do a load of extra work because people are sending me packages. But I would absolutely love to receive cards and letters from you. I don't know if you've caught sight of it in any of my videos, but I have above my desk where I do my editing and some hand sewing and just a lot of general existing. I have a bulletin board with like some of the random just like interesting bits of paper I've picked up in my life, but also cards and letters that people in my personal life have sent me. And it's really nice to put those in an obvious visual place where they remind me that I have them and that, hey, people like me enough to want to send me nice things. So yeah, that is for the P.O. box. Let me take a quick look in the chat. Hooray for setting boundaries early. Yes, that is very important. Something I've learned basically my entire career of having a career of any sort has been like the number one biggest thing that's important to do is just like set people's expectations in the right place from the outset. Don't promise more than you think you can do. Make sure people know what they're getting into if they work with you or if you do work for them. So yes, cool as it would be to just like let people send me things from all over the globe, that's just not feasible. Oh, thank you for the super chat very much. I appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna wait another minute or so for the responses to roll in. See, living room has turned into craft, sewing, yarn, fabric storage. Yeah, that's really relatable. That is extremely relatable. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the number of people we have here, and there's 94 people here. So I'm kind of glad that I waited a minute to get to the big important announcement. So now that the last one's sunk in, we might as well get onwards with that. So folks might know that I started this channel as a hobby. Basically, I'd been thinking about it for a minute, and then pandemic happened, and I couldn't work at my day job doing hair. So I suddenly found myself with a load of extra time on my hands, and connected with folks in the community, and people were really sweet. And that really helped get this channel off the ground to the point where I was able to, do the YouTube monetization thing and start earning a little bit of money in that. And then over about the past year, since CocoVid last year and now through COSI this year, that it's expanded, it's grown beyond anything I expected, to the point where some of you may have noticed I've actually done a couple of integrations lately, which is great. So we might be seeing one of those pop up on my content every now and again. But what's also happened is towards the beginning of this year, my health stuff turned into a total disaster. And unfortunately, my arms and my shoulders just sort of don't really work well enough for me to do hair as my full-time gig anymore, which has resulted in this channel turning into my de facto job, because it's what I have to do and it pays me-ish. So, based on that, and thanks to the absolutely wonderful support I have gotten from you guys, actually turning this into a job and a career and something I can spend a large amount of my time doing, we'll have another little drum roll. I wait for the chat to start catching up. Although honestly, it's probably going to take a full minute, and I'm not going to sit here doing a drum roll for a full minute. So, I'll just come out and say it. I've just launched a Patreon. That's a thing that has happened. I'm gonna wait for the delay to catch up, but yeah, that went live, I suppose right about now, although technically I hit the launch button yesterday, just so I could make sure it was working. But yes, I have a Patreon now, and I can see the responses starting to throw in. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Faye, if you're modding, please don't let this get caught by the mod demons. I've pinned it, so that's up there. And hopefully y'all can see it and click on it. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what we will be doing with this Patreon. Let's get to the preview. I'm still finding my way around the back end of it, which is rather exciting. Okay, so we have 4 membership tiers. I've tried to price them to cover sort of a wide variety of things. We're starting at $5 US. It's in US because that's my local currency. That is where I am located. And I've named them after the various hot beverages I drink because I've been referring to my Ko-fi page as the Small Dragon Tea Fund for a while. So I figured, let's stick with that theme. That's easy branding. We'll go with that. So the first tier is called Coffee, and it's $5. And with that, you get early access to ad-free videos. I'm going to try to post unlisted YouTube links that do not have ads added to them yet for my videos 24 hours or so ahead of time. This is another one of those setting expectation things where I didn't stick a firm time frame on it, but I'm gonna try to make sure it's at least 24 hours so you're actually getting early access and you have a chance to watch the video before it goes out to the public. You also get access to the patron-only posts and progress updates and things like that. I'm gonna aim for once a week with those, but those who've been following me for a minute know that I am utterly terrible at posting to social media regularly. I figured posting once a week to a community of people that I'm hoping to get the chance to actually get to know a little bit better rather than just throwing a photo up on Instagram is going to be a little bit more doable. So we're going to aim for once a week, and those will be just sort of behind the scenes stuff, questions, chat. I think people can comment on those so we can actually talk to each other a little bit. And then the last thing you get in the coffee tier that is $5 a month is coin flip powers, which is what I'm calling little sort of decision polls. Sometimes I get to a point in a project where I'm stuck between 2 choices where I'm not 100% sure just which I want to do. I could go either way. And in normal situations, I'd flip a coin or I'd roll a D2. Please tell me somebody here is going to get that joke. But instead, now I will be putting up polls for you folks to help me decide. So you can actually help vote in my projects and take part in that process at that level. The next tier is ginger chai, which is $10 a month. This is kind of the really excited one. I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while. At this level, you get everything from the coffee tier, but you also get something that I am calling works cited. Cited as in seen, as opposed to cited as in a bibliography, because this is not going to be a formal bibliography. I don't actually really remember how to write those, but what we will be getting is the reference list of like patterns, fabrics, materials, all of that, but also my sources, my research, books I've read, blog posts I found useful, all of that just sort of cataloged and put together. And it's going to have my notes on it too. So you'll be able to essentially go through that and you will have access to my research and that behind the scenes for $10 a month. And this is for every video or public like project I do for this channel. Probably not for my personal projects so much. But for like, if I make a video about it, you're going to get a works cited for it. I'm hoping that this will make life a little bit easier for anybody like of my fellow folks who are interested in history, interested in costume research, because when you get the works cited, if you're signed up for that tier, you're going to get to hear me tell you about the epic research quest I have been on, trying to chase down one primary source that it seems like everybody and their brother is citing, from modern day SCA documentation to people writing books in Spanish in the 1920s. And I've been after this thing for days, and I still have not found my primary source. So if you want to hear stories like that, sign up for Ginger Chai tier or any of the higher ones. Moving on. Okay, the next tier is called Genmai Cha, because that is my favorite tea for sharing with people and making gigantic pots of. So this one, you get everything from the Ginger Chai tier. So you get the works cited, you get the polls, you get all of the other stuff, but you also get, essentially, you get to get on a video chat with me and everybody else at that tier for an hour once a month, and we'll sew and we'll chat about our projects. I'm calling it Stitch and Kvetch because, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the connotations of the word that's normally used in that frame. Hang on one second, my computer's telling me it's gonna sleep in a moment if I don't plug it in. We're gonna fix that. Apologies for that brief interruption. It turns out, surprise, surprise, live streaming uses battery. All right, so, waiting for the delay to catch up a little bit. All right, so as we were talking about the Genmai Cha tier, that is $25 a month. And yes, we will get on a call where we will have a Stitch and Kvetch. For anybody unfamiliar, Kvetch is the Yiddish term for complain or grumble, which carries both like the rhyming connotations and the like actual, general meaning of the word that is usually used in place of that when you talk about a stitch and fill in the blank. Okay. And then the last tier, which is basically just here for people who have either like, I don't know, my friends who have tech money and have been looking for excuses to throw more of it at me that I'll actually accept. Or like if you really, really, really want to support the work I'm doing here of making exciting videos about historical fashion, doing Jewish dress history content, all of that, is called White Rose Melange, because that is my absolute favorite, like, fancy pants, make it for special occasions tea from this one little local tea shop. I've never been able to find it anywhere else. It's really, really good. And at that level, you get everything from the previous tiers, and I will also write you a card or letter once a year, just to let you know, how much I appreciate you, because $50 a month is a lot of money. Like, it is. So if I'm not actually expecting anybody to sign up for that tier, but I have no problem writing letters if people do. So yeah, once a year, I will send you a letter. It doesn't matter where you are in the globe. I will get it to you. I will handle the postage, and you'll get yourself a little handwritten dragon card or letter once a year. All right, let me actually come catch up in the chat that I haven't been looking at for a second because I've been talking. All right, how are folks doing? Are the links working? Please tell me that link is working. I'm gonna be so mad if Patreon hasn't actually done their review because they said they were doing it. Oh no, it looks like has someone signed up already? Let's reload this and find out. Two people have signed up already. Oh my gosh. Well, let's go look because I want to congratulate those people. All right. Somebody has signed up. Oh my gosh, somebody's already signed up at the White Rose Melange tier. Vivian, wherever you are, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay. I'm just gonna sit here and get flustered for a little bit. And also thank you to Rue, who has signed up at the Ginger Chai tier. So you will get all of those bibliographies, but just like, oh my gosh. Okay, thank you everybody for confirming that that link works. That is good to know. Okay. So we have probably about 5 minutes or so before my camera informs me, but basically before my camera blue screens. One of the other setup problems I've encountered is the display auto off on this camera has like a max of 30 minutes. And if that shuts off, then you get like a nice little blue screen from the camera signal and you have to turn it off, turn it back on, and reconnect it. So that's one of the reasons I'm only going to be sticking around for probably a little under half an hour. So yeah, we can keep chatting until then. Let's see. Do folks have any other questions about the Patreon? And in the meantime, I am going to answer a couple of the questions that have popped up in the chat. Let's see. What else is here? What am I working on sewing-wise? Well, the projects that I did for COSI, the two medieval 11th, early 12th century Jewish outfits, were basically what I've been working on for the past several months, because the Iberian Sephardic outfit, especially, that one was entirely hand-sewn. So that took a lot of the past few months, and now I'm kind of almost looking at like a clean slate and an empty work table. So I can drop a few little hints about the next sort of three projects I have on the horizon that I'm going to be making videos about. I mentioned in that most recent video, the Getting Dressed as Medieval Jews, that the red wool kirtle that I put on under my bleod was on loan from a Viking Age kit, which means I am making a Viking Age kit. There will be a video about it. It's going to be interesting. But yes, I am making a hand-sewn Viking Age kit, so that I will be able to show you. And then as well, I've actually just put together the pattern for this. I am going to be doing a project that involves pants. Aside from the sarwal that I did for the Sephardic outfit, I've never sewn pants before. I've never sewn trousers before. And these are not the super simple rectangular cut ones. They are something else. So that is going to be coming. And they're from a historical period where you don't normally associate trousers with feminine clothing. So I'm extra excited to do those because I am a big fan of wearing trousers. I do it most days. And then the other little thing I want to drop a hint about, and this will be a very vague and obscure hint because I'm being sneaky about it. I've decided that given how much people loved my sort of witchy Edwardian blouse video that I did last year that was all spoopy and gothic and honestly covered with bad VFX because I was moving out of that house and I was pretty done with it by the time I made that video. People love that, and so I've decided we're gonna do another sort of spoopy, gothy Halloween project, except this one, I'm gonna try to actually get out in time for Halloween, and this is gonna be one that goes with the witchy Edwardian blouse. So together they'll make an entire outfit or costume. So I'm also very much looking forward to that because that one is going to be fun. That's going to be a fun video. All right, let me catch up again with the chat. Somebody's saying you can't sign up for Patreon because they don't have the money. Can people send letters / fan mail? Yes, you are very welcome to send letters to the P.O. Box. I will put the info for it in there. Or I will put the info for it up everywhere I can put it up as soon as I can. Let's see. And additionally, even if you yourself don't have money to spare to be part of the Patreon, you can help by sharing the Patreon and just sharing my work, watching my videos, following me on Instagram, all of that, because watching my videos, I get paid for that. Sharing my videos, more people watch them, and I get paid for that. Sharing the Patreon, more people are going to join, and that means me getting paid for that. So basically, the more my work sort of makes the rounds, even if you yourself don't have the money on hand, which, like, I understand there are lots of Patreons that I want to join, and I'm just like, I don't have the money, because it turns out being a full-time artist doesn't always involve getting paid a lot. But I share their work, I talk about it with my friends, and that is still a really, really important way of supporting us, perhaps even more important than if somebody were to join my Patreon but never say anything. Okay, and then one question I got over on Instagram, if I'm remembering correctly, it was about how I've been able to balance essentially like having my day job, the doing hair, and doing this, and taking care of myself with the chronic health stuff I have going. And honestly, this is how. I haven't really been able to do hair more than an afternoon or so a week for a while. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to shift towards content creation as a full-time job, because you've all seen it. Like, I can sew from bed, I can edit from bed, I can research from bed. I don't have to be feeling terribly good in order to do that. Okay, so I'm coming up on sort of my camera's time limit. Let's see. Commenting and liking my videos also helps my visibility. Yes, it does. All of that does good things for the algorithm. But yes, I'm coming up on my camera's time limit for us, so I'll stick around for another minute or so, just to let folks wrap up and say goodbye. Thank you all for joining me this morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night if you're somewhere else, or whatever time it is when you are watching this. I especially appreciate you bearing with me starting late due to the technical difficulties and having this awkward viewfinder situation on the screen. So seriously, thank you all. Thank you to those of you who've signed up for my Patreon and will sign up for my Patreon. Thank you for watching my videos and sharing my content. Thank you to Faye, our wonderful comment mod. Thank you again to Vivian, who has signed up at the White Rose tier, because oh my gosh. And I'll read the chat. I'll keep that going for a little bit. You'll see me in the comments today. And then if you need to get in touch with me, you can also go check me out over on Instagram at Miss Snappy Dragon. And of course, the Patreon link is in the chat, and I will of course be plastering that all over all of my platforms wherever I can get to it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you around the internets. Bye, friends!